Since we're headed into another small cold snap at the moment in the UK, I thought I would cover what you do with the low-cost windowsill garden if you have a plant like chamomile, for example, or thyme, which does need a slightly higher germination rate. Thyme, from what I remember, ideally germinates around 19 degrees, and then chamomile, both Roman and German chamomile, they ideally want around, I think it was 22 or 23 degrees Celsius. Which is not the temperature that we are reaching currently in the UK. At the moment, outdoors, it's about 4 degrees. Tonight it's meant to be -1. And since most people aren't turning their heating on or keeping it incredibly low, we're very unlikely to hit that kind of temperature indoors. So I'm going to show you what to do if you have a plant that you want to germinate. Doesn't matter if it's a tea, a vegetable, a herb, doesn't matter. This is what you do if you want it to germinate, but you don't want to actually turn your heating on. So this is what you're going to do. You're going to take your pot. Now in this case, I've taken thyme seeds because I want a lot more thyme plants. And I've already sprinkled it really generously all over the place. The trick with thyme is to not skimp on the seeds. Just put those suckers everywhere, all the way around the edges, all the way around the middle, and then cover them with about 1 centimetre-ish of potting mix or worm castings. And then what the important thing is that you need to make sure that this thing is very damp, not soggy, just damp. And that's why I like a spray bottle, because when you're pouring it, it can be very easy to go a bit overboard. But if you have a spray bottle, it's a lot easier to just spray it a few times, wait a few seconds, and then gauge whether it's starting to look swamp-like. If it's starting to look swamp-like, back off. I'm happy with the moisture in there now because I've already kind of pre-soaked everything. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a jar. You could also use some cling film, but because this is one of those pull top tins, it does have the advantage of very easily slotting in like a lid. And it means that no matter how much I shake this, it's not coming off, which is great because now it's going in the boiler. Good, so now I'm in the boiler, and what I'm going to do is just pop it on top because it's always going to be nice and warm in here unless you're actually turning off the whole boiler. But even then, even if you have a shower, the boiler cupboard is still going to be a lot warmer than the rest of the house. So this is where you're going to have the best chance of you actually getting these things to germinate without having to actively turn anything on. So the same thing applies to chamomile if that's something that you want to grow as well. I'm going to show you how to transplant that in my next video because I have so much of it growing in the garden. There's no point me buying the seeds. That's part of the whole reason why I started growing it, because I knew that this thing will just grow like a mat. But I'll show that in the next video.